Hey fishing friends, Jason here with another episode from Clear Fork Bassin. Okay, today I want to talk to you about catching fish. That's what we're all in this for, right? So we want to try to catch the most fish possible. And how are you going to do that? Fishing tournaments, how are you going to do that? Fishing for fun, taking your kids, all this kind of stuff. So what you want to do first, you want to take the time when you are fishing to study the structure. If it's spring, summer, winter, spring, summer, fall, you want to take the time to study the structure. Okay? You want to look for laydowns, for logs, stumps, brush, grass, things like that that where bass are going to be a lot of times. And you want to know if you have the electronics, you want to look for ledges and things like that, and your depth finders, all that stuff you can use. Okay, but if you don't have that, what I recommend is trying to get out on your lake. If it has a winter level, try to get out on your lake sometime and cover that whole lake somehow. If you fish it on a kayak or boat, or whatever you fish from, try to get out on your lake and see the structure underneath at winter levels. That'll help you a whole lot. I'll guarantee you'll catch more fish if you know what you're fishing over top of and what you're fishing on. And you want to know the points and the structure of everything on that lake. What points produce, which points, and where at. And if you're not on a lake you're familiar with, and you don't have electronics, and you don't have gadgets and things like that, you need to study about points and drop-offs and ledges and fish depths and fishing all the water columns. You want to study all that. So that's another thing that you want to look at. Okay, you also want to look at your bait presentation. Okay, and by practicing your bait presentation, if you can't get to a river or a lake or something like that, and you have a swimming pool, practice in your swimming pool, presenting that bait, because a lot of people think there's some big secret into a certain bait. Or now, don't get me wrong, some baits do work well in certain waters better than others, and certain colors and things like that. But we'll get into that in a minute. But what I really want you to understand is that how you present that bait to that fish is the big secret to catching fish. If you can't present the bait right, you might get lucky 1 out of 10 times, or if you're in a massive school, maybe perhaps you get even more lucky. But if you ain't presenting the bait right, if you ain't using a bait right, how it's supposed to be used, the right hook, the right setup, all of that, and presenting that, working that bait like you should, it's going to minimize your chances of catching a fish. And what we want to do is maximize our chances. So you want to look for structure. You want to try to get on for winter levels and check your structure there as well. You want to know what points to fish and things like that. And you want to know how to present your bait. Okay. And now we're going to get into what I was mentioning there just a second ago with the color selection. Okay, now you got to be. I went to a lake I hadn't fished but one time, and I went there the other day, and I didn't bring the right color selection. I would say, I didn't bring as much of the right color selection. Nobody was really catching anything. But point being is that if you don't have the right color for clear water, your odds of getting hit are slim. You want to use your natural colors in those types of water, your browns. A brown jig in water with clarity is just about the best you can have. The peanut butter and jelly color I used with kale and worms was the only hit that I got on that lake, actually. So, you want to use those natural type colors, your green pumpkins, your natural shad colors if they're shad in that. Clear water reservoirs and things like that. And I'm used to fishing a more murky, muddy type water at my local lake, and so I packed and prepped for that. You know, when you take a kayak out, sometimes you have to kind of pack and you got a minimum amount of stuff you can really pack and prep on a kayak. So in doing that, you know, it minimized my chances of catching a fish. So you know, you have to use chartreuse colors and bright colors, black and blues, vibrating baits, things that make a little bit more noise in murky, dingy, muddy style reservoir water. Now, something else that I tend to use a whole lot, and people might think it might be strange, but I use Google Earth. I take Google Earth maps and I look at these summer levels of these lakes. From up high, you can see some of the structure underneath in some of these more clear reservoirs. And you can see also in how the depths, the points, you can map out where you want to fish and how you want to fish it. What would be the best places to go first if you're fishing a tournament, things like that. You know, you can use Google Earth to kind of get an idea of where you're going to be going on that lake first, if you haven't been there. You know, that's speaking for lakes that you're a little unfamiliar with. So that's another tip. And you know, you can combine all these things, and it's going to up your chances of producing fish. There's really no great secret without having some electronics into finding fish, other than you know, some of the things I told you there. There's probably a few more things you can do that hasn't come to my mind. But if you have any other suggestions or any other ideas, trip tips that work for you, tricks, things like that, leave a comment. I pretty much stay on top of my YouTube comments pretty regularly. So leave a comment, and tomorrow I hope to be doing, although we've had some massive amount of rain, I hope to get to a pond tomorrow and hopefully get some footage of that. If you know the pH in the water isn't so screwed up that that the fish are just blah, you know. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of that tomorrow, and I'll upload that video. If not, I'll have something else for you. But this is Jason with Clear Fork Bassin. It's been a long day. I had a doctor take my son to the autism doctor, about a 2-hour drive from here. So we got back from that, and I had to catch up on my social media stuff, and now I'm sending this to you guys. So like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys out on the water.